Okay, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. I'm going to go ahead and let people join. We are so excited. It's Thursday, the third Thursday of the month. I'll go ahead and wait a few more seconds to let some people join. Could not be more excited or love today. I love our third Thursdays of every month. So lots of goodness coming. All right, a couple more seconds. More seconds. All right. Well, hello again, everyone. My name is Tiffany Cross, and I am the Vice President of Sales here at IDIQ. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. As many of you know, we host webinars on the third Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and our goal is to consistently deliver just really valuable content that provides our partners with resources, education, and creative strategies to help increase profitability and to scale successfully. One of the things I love most about our partner community is, frankly, the diversity of experience represented here. Some of our partners are literally brand new to the credit repair industry and have just started to dip their toes into the business. Others are among the largest and most established credit repair organizations in the entire nation, which is amazing. So regardless of where you are in your journey, our commitment is to provide insights and tools to help you move forward. So before we get started, I just want to say a couple of housekeeping items. If you are joining late and you need to step away or you think you're going to miss a portion of today's presentation, do not worry. This webinar is being recorded, as it always is, and we will absolutely send a full recording via email by the end of business day, so make sure you're checking your emails. Also, during the webinar, feel free to submit your questions in the chat. Drop them in there throughout today's presentation. We will collect them as we go, and our presenter Sarah, will answer them at the very end. Okay, enough of that. So it is my pleasure today to introduce today's speaker. She is someone who truly lives and breathes marketing at every single level. Sarah Williams is the marketing director here at IDIQ, where she has spent more than 4 years leading both our direct-to-consumer and our B2B marketing teams. That dual perspective, you guys, that understanding what motivates consumers while also helping business partners grow is exactly what makes her the perfect person to lead today's discussion. So with that being said, Sarah Williams, take it away.
Thank you, Tiffany. That was an absolutely fabulous introduction. So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you guys joining here and making the time. Like Tiffany said, Sarah Williams, the Director of Marketing here. I've been with IDIQ for a little over 4 years now. Been in marketing, though, for over 10 years. I have a background with manufacturing marketing, actually in the power tools industry, which is really random, but was a lot of fun. And then some other miscellaneous small business companies. So like Tiffany said, I have experience both with the B2B space, but also in the direct-to-consumer space. And I think that that's a really valuable insight into how to help small businesses get off the ground, because they're really working with those consumers on a one-to-one basis. So just going to go ahead and dive in on what we're going to cover today. So over the next 45 minutes or so, we're going to go over some practical and actionable steps that you as a business owner can take this week to really elevate your brand online. And I just want a disclaimer that this won't be too much about social media or ads or some of these more, bigger things that you can do as far as marketing. I really want to take the time today to get down to the basics and making sure that your foundation is built right. And we are covering the things that matter most and what, social or ads or things are going to connect back to. So, whether you're just getting started and this is brand new, net new information for you, or you're looking to sharpen tools that you already have, you are going to be in the right place. And your online presence, it really matters more than you think, especially in your credit service space. People are coming and they're looking for services with somebody that they trust. So it's very important that you are putting your best foot out there and making sure that you look reliable and you look like a true stable company. So we'll dive in. First thing is going to be your presence. And it's exactly just what we had talked about, right? Like you need to be showing that that you're trustworthy and people know that they can come for you. There are so many different companies out there, and you want to really establish why they would choose you. So we're going to paint this picture to go ahead and get started. And you guys have been consumers yourselves. You research things before you purchase them. And the space that we're in here, again, is a financial space, is somebody who's seeking help with their credit or any type of financial situation that they might be in. And they're not just going to click on a random YouTube video or social influencer that pops up without doing true research. They are giving their personal information to somebody that they want to trust. So, how do you build that trust? And we're going to go over 4 main topics today. And it's going to start with your business Google profile. This is free, and this is the easiest tool that you have as a business owner to get started and to make yourself look as legit as you can. Next, we got your website. Is it trustworthy? If somebody were to land on it, are they going to understand who and what you do in the first 5 seconds, or are they bouncing? Next is your emails. And this is one that typically really gets overlooked. And they send emails, whether it be their lead gen, whether it be, booking confirmations. They don't realize if their emails are going to spam or not. And they're just assuming that they have bad leads or bad information, never thinking about, could it be your email address? We're going to go over that. And then lastly is reviews, right? Like, what are people saying about you out there, and how are you capitalizing on the people and the clients that do love you to get their stories heard? Okay, let's go ahead and dive right on in. We're going to start with your Google business profile. This is the single most powerful tool that a marketer could use, and that is available to you, again, for free. So I say this all the time, but most credit professionals, they have one, or really any businesses, they have access to do this and they're just not doing it. So we should be doing that. So let's fix this. So step 1, not even listed on the slide, is make one, right? So if you don't have a Google business profile, that needs to be step 1. Go ahead and get that started. And for those of you that aren't really sure what that looks like, you can, if you're going and you're looking to get a coffee, or you want to find a vendor near you, you usually type it into Google, right? And then on the side of that website or your search comes up with that listing, and it will show often the map of where you're located, your hours, pictures of what your company could look like. That's your Google business profile. And so once you have it built up, step 1 is making sure that you have the right primary category selected. You want to select credit counseling services. This will determine, when people are searching, if Google should pull your profile up or not. You want to make it very clear of what your services are to Google, so they know exactly who to show you to when those people are searching. Next would be the description and the other fields allotted to you. So you need to go through and make sure that you are clicking everything that you have. You want to make sure that you are filling out those hours, that you are filling out the description, right? There are 750 characters. Use them. They're giving you the opportunity to put your description, all your information out there. And again, you want to be as thoughtful about this because Google's using it for search. You want to go ahead and make sure that you are being clear with what you do, who you are, who you're trying to help. That way it is 100% searchable. And there's just a little note on that with all the new AI tools, obviously Chat, Claude, Gemini, whatever tool you're using, the AIs are scraping those Google business profiles, and they're giving you an example of where you should find. So this, on the screen, you can see like a quick snippet of us searching right here in Temecula, and AI is pulling directly from Google business profiles of who is in my area and who I should trust. So you want to make sure you are being very thorough and getting as much information into your profile as possible. The third piece is photos. Photos are key. Most people, when they're searching, it's the photos that grab their attention. It's the photos and the reviews. So photos, you want to get real photos. I don't mean AI generated photos of a credit report or, something silly like that. We want to see who you are and where you are. We want to see your, the outside of your building. I want to see, maybe your workstation. I want to see pictures of you with a client that had a great success story, or maybe you went to Credit Con and you used, your photo of you networking and growing your expertise in this. As a consumer, you want to look at that and be like, man, this company, they're real. They are doing the training, they're doing the things, they're an established company. I trust them. I want to look them up. I want to take a step further. So make sure you get those photos up and they are real and updated. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I always giggle when there are, I'm looking up a company and I know that they're established and they've been around for 20 years, but their photos are from like their LinkedIn photos, maybe from high school or something, right? That's not helpful. You want to make sure that yes, you have 10 photos, but that they are up to date and you are constantly updating them. You're giving Google new and refreshed content that they can leverage for you. And lastly is reviews. We all go through and we all look at reviews no matter what we're buying, right? So you want to be able to really leverage what Google has to offer there. They also give you a link that you can use and you can send out to your, consumers or clients that had great success stories and can leave great reviews for you. The average person reads about 10 reviews before making a decision when it comes to financial services alone. So you really want to make sure that you're building up your clout essentially online of real people who have had real success stories with you. And so these four things, your category, your details, your photos, and your reviews will give you a very, very strong platform on Google that is going to be searchable. And that's exactly what you want. Okay, next, your website. So once they find you typically on Google, they're going to click your link, right? And that's going to send them to your website. You don't want to lose them here. You want to make sure that your website passed the 5-second rule. So there's 4 key things that you want to make sure that you're getting 100% right so that your website stands up. First and foremost, is it clear? When somebody lands on your website, do they know who you are, what you do, and what they're going to get by working with you? Next, you want a strong CTA and you want one primary. You don't want to give a consumer too many options, right? They're going to get confused. They're not going to know what to click on or what the next steps are. So you want to be thoughtful and make sure that you're giving the consumer the journey that you want them to take. So like obviously we have our website here up on their screen for Identity IQ. We have a one clear primary CTA, get protected. And we've done A/B testing and some learnings to see what language on that button, what color is that button to make sure we know what converts the best. And that's something that you can take and elevate on. But let's start with getting you one CTA. And you can see on our screen that we actually have a secondary, but it is much smaller and it is C plan. So it takes you back to the primary action, which is select a plan. Next is the social proof above the fold. So I'm going to break this down for you guys for 2 things. Social proof is like what we have here, and it's, badges from CBS, Fox News, NBC, more of these badges of where we've been or where we've been seen. And you don't have to have badges, of a national television channel, right? You can have things like a testimony or a 5-star review from Sarah or whatever it may be. But having that social proof up is really helpful. And it gives somebody, again, within those first 5 seconds that you are real and that you are trustworthy. And when I say above the fold, I mean before they start scrolling. So you want you don't want somebody to just get lost in your website. You don't want them having to take action except for hitting your primary call to action. So by getting that social proof up above the fold quick, it really gives them that instant, okay, this is real. And then the last piece of it is probably honestly the most important, but it needs to, is your website mobile friendly? Is it fast and mobile friendly? So we know that like in a day-to-day when we're at work, we're typically using our desktops, right? We're sitting here, we're helping a client, whatever it may be, and we're on desktop. And so when we're designing our site or getting things up and going, sometimes we get caught in the mindset, well, it looks good on desktop, so that means it's great everywhere else. And that's typically not the case. Your consumer or your client is 90% of the time going to be on their phone searching for you at the beginning. So you want to make sure that your website looks good on mobile, that the buttons are still above the fold, that your CTAs are strong, and that everything is fast. Because the worst thing that happens is that your website is slow and somebody's clicking, trying to get to it, and it doesn't load. So all the work you've done before with your Google profile or maybe social or whatever other channels you're working on, and they send to your website, but your website doesn't load, you've already lost that consumer. So you really want to make sure that you are making sure that it's fast and mobile friendly, but it also has your clear header, your CTA, and your social proof, and that will help you pass the 5-second test on your website. Next, we're going to go into your emails. So bear with me because this part does get a little technical. But, and this, like I said before, a lot of people are going to overlook this, right? You think that you have an email and you're sending emails, the end. But this screen, and like Tiffany said before, we're going to be able to give you guys a checklist and this recording so you can go back and do this on your own time. But these are 3 technical things that take less than 30 minutes and can really elevate your emails and your lead nurture. So we're going to start off with just the basics, right? What is your email sender name? What is your identity? Are you sending from Sarah Williams at IDIQ, or are you sending Sarah Williams at Gmail? This is important that it is coming from your domain of your website of your company. To Google and even to the recipient of the email looks much stronger and much more real if it's coming from the business. So if I'm emailing you from Sarah Williams at IDIQ, you're going to be already more at ease that I'm contacting you from an established company. Versus if I were to email you, Sarah Williams at Gmail or at Yahoo or God forbid Hotmail, LOL, you would be, okay, she's emailing me on a personal level, or who is this girl and why is she emailing you? It's going to look a lot more like spam. So you want to make sure that you're setting up your sender name correctly. And you can do that through GoDaddy or whatever platform that you got your domain, and they will help you get that all set up. Next is going to be your email authentication. So think of this as more of like your security for your email. There are 3 settings. We're going to go through the SPF, the DKIM, and the DMARC. You don't need to worry about these acronyms. I'm just going to lightly, cover what they are and why they are important. So your SPF is your authorized sender list. This tells Gmail or, Apple Mail or whoever that they are allowed to send emails on your behalf. Next is the DKIM, which is like a digital seal on every single email, proving to Google or whoever that the email was not tampered with. Think of it like, a lick on an envelope or a wax seal. And it's telling these servers that your email is secure and has not been messed with. And then lastly is DMARC. This is your protection policy. It tells Google if somebody is trying to fake your email from a domain. All 3 of these live in your domain settings, again, usually in GoDaddy or wherever you registered your domain. Your email provider, however, so like a Google Workspace or a Microsoft 360, you can go ahead and go in there and they will give you the exact settings to copy so that everything is working correctly and set up. And then lastly is going to be this cool tool that I found. And you can go ahead and get a test or a grade on your emails. So once you have the first two set up, you have your business name set up and you have all your security and protection set up, you can go ahead and go to mailtester.com and follow the prompts that it gives you, and they will give you an email address and you email them. They will then take your email and they will give you a score of 1 out of 10 to show you how secure your email is. You really want to get a 9 or higher, right? That 10 would be ideal, but it'll show you in real time what's breaking and it'll show you if your emails are going to spam. So this is really imperative for you guys to take advantage of and go do today, honestly, and make sure that your emails are, secure and not looking like spam to your clients. You don't want to be doing all this work to get people to your website and build this whole lead gen and nurture campaign when all the emails you're sending are just going to go to spam. And I do want to make a quick note on this, that for those of you that would be starting this from scratch and building email campaigns, it's really important that you warm up those email domains. So for example, when we built Credit Builder IQ and we started sending our emails out, I couldn't just start mass sending to everybody from Credit Builder IQ. What we had to do is warm that domain. So essentially what that means is that you slow roll sends from that email domain. And you want to make sure that you're sending to people that are going to engage with that. Because what Google sees is somebody that this is a real email domain. People are engaging with this content. They want this content. This is real. It's not spam. But when you send, 3,000 emails from a fresh domain that day you make it, nobody's opening it because nobody knows who it is. Then Google automatically, flags it as spam and you start to get a low domain health. And the lower health you have, the harder it will be for you to hit inboxes. And from experience, I had to learn the hard way that if you start off with a low domain health, it is very, very hard to come back from that. So make sure that you are doing your due diligence and you are slow rolling emails if you are truly starting from a new domain. And then next, we are going to go into, sorry guys, slight technical difficulties. Evelyn, can you help me move? Never mind, I found it. We are going to go into reviews. So this is pretty self-explanatory, right? We all want reviews. We all want everybody to tell us how great we are. But people truly underestimate how valuable reviews are to your company. And like I mentioned before, the average person reads about 10 reviews before deciding on a financial service. So you need to be leveraging the happy clients that you've worked with and the success stories that you have, because they're genuinely going to be your best salespeople. Word of mouth is real. And again, yes, you're a business owner, but you're also a business owner that's a consumer. You're shopping on Amazon or, whatever else for maybe personal items. And I guarantee that you're reading reviews. And that is going to be no different from a consumer looking for services from your company. And if anything, it's more important that way because, again, they're giving you your financial information and they need to know that they can trust you. So it's really vital that you have these reviews. And there's 4 spots that I'm highlighting today that I think are very beneficial to any company. First and foremost is the Google reviews, right? We already talked about that a few slides ago, but really making sure that your Google profile is strong and it has those stars and it has those reviews on there. Next is your BBB. So a lot of people go to the BBB to make sure that it is, a real established business, that it's not just, some guy down the street who has like 1 or 2 clients, right? Maybe some friends, but this is a true established company. and they can see whether you're responding or not. Next would be Trustpilot. A lot of consumers go to Trustpilot. This is where, careful buyers are going before they're spending money. And then last is consumer affairs. And consumer affairs is, in my eyes, it's more of a tricky one. People like to complain, right? It's usually the people that complain are going to be the loudest and they're going to have an opinion about things. But it's very vital, not only on consumer affairs, but really all four, that you are responding to both positive and negative reviews. So ideally, yeah, we want everybody to sing our praises, but there's always going to be the negative Nancy's out there that have something to say because they didn't understand a rule or they genuinely had a bad experience. But it's on you as the business owner to make sure that you're owning that and you are responding to that. By leaving it blank, it almost proves that it's true. But by responding, it shows that you made it, you genuinely care and you want to change whatever happened, or that you want to make a better experience moving forward, and that you have the respect for your clients, that you want to make a better experience for everybody. So these are the 4 reviews I highly recommend that you as a business owner start tackling. All 4 of them give you links or opportunities to share with your clients to get them to leave the review, right? Maybe it's a great client who you just got their score up 100 points. Have them place a Google review, have them place a Trustpilot review. That's something that should be honestly built in to your onboarding and your workflows. That way you are capturing every review as you can. I will say, if you are going to go down that path and you are adding the links to an email flow or a text flow, whatever it may be, you need to understand that you cannot gate reviews. You cannot do it in a way that only allows positives. If you are opening up your links to the public and you are not just like doing it on a one-by-one basis, you have to allow any type of review, both positive and negative. Google has very strict standards around gating reviews, and it could get you into compliance trouble. So do make sure that if you are sending these links out to the public, that you are not gating and you are allowing for both. And that's why I wanted to harp on making sure that once you get reviews on both sentiments, that you do respond. Okay, and then next we are going to go into our live audit. So we were lucky enough to get a review here from Mario. So thank you, Mario. He was able to send us his website for us to do a live audit. So we'll go ahead and jump in here. Thank you again, Mario. And then just side note, I'm connecting with you after Mario because I'm from the 831. I born and raised. So I'm very curious of, more of your background story for sure. So let's go ahead and jump in. So first off, I really like the colors, but that's because my designer at heart. But first and foremost, yes, your headline is great. It comes in and it tells the people what you do and what they're going to get out of it. I love the animation. That's really smart. I also like that you do have that get funding offers, exactly what they're going to get. And it is clear, it's bold, it's obvious. I do want to point out, however, this open space here, because this has so much open space, it's not allowing you to see the full call to action at the fold of my screen, right? And well done. You do have this social proof right here at the top. But again, because this space, you lose some of it. I would suggest, I'm not sure if this language under your logo is a part of your logo, or if there's a way to maybe put it on the side. So this is more of a horizontal logo, and perhaps that would help the spacing here. Overall, I think the website is clean. I think you did a great job. I would suggest maybe hyperlinking some of these videos some of these phone numbers on here. Again, a reminder that if your consumer is on mobile, they're not gonna want to copy and paste and put that into their phone. They're going to want to be able to click and call as soon as possible. I did go ahead and drop it into PageSpeed Insights. So you actually had some pretty decent scores. And again, we can link this site to you guys and share this after the webinar, so you can go ahead and plug in your own websites to get your own ratings. But overall, really great job, Mario. A few of the things on performance are going to be on speed. So what's nice is down here, it shows you some of the call outs and recommendations. So one of the things is this image delivery. So sometimes if the images are too big or they're too heavy, they slow down your site speed. So by reducing the size of those images, you'll make your site even faster. And what's nice about this Page Site Insight is that it'll show you the difference between mobile and desktop. So like on desktop, crushing it, right? But on mobile, it's a little bit slower. So it goes back to the point that I was saying, is that we really need to make sure that we are being mobile first and making sure that our phone on mobile is as fast as possible. And then to go back to the site, speaking of mobile, I did notice that if we were to make this mobile, you're losing your header and your menu is getting a little bit wonky. So what I would do this week or this month would be just to go back, and I think that it's really this spacing gap that's causing some issues, and it could also be affecting some of the page speed. And I would honestly have your developer maybe check this animation. As much as I love it, it also might be affecting some of the page speed. So maybe, you keep it on desktop, not on mobile. Totally up to you. These are just suggestions. But overall, great site. And I really appreciate you pulling that back in and letting us do a quick little live audit on that. That was really helpful. Thank you, Mario. But with that, I think we are going to now go into the authority. So now that you guys have these basics of what that foundation should look like online, we've done a test, we've seen it live in action. I just want to take a few more minutes to go through what that authority brings you. So, like I said before, people are searching for you. And now that they're doing that, why is it important and how can you elevate that to the next steps, right? So we're going to go into, I made a quick little highlight for you of what a funnel could look like for your site. You're getting this traffic, but how do you convert that interest into actual clients? So this is like a 6-step funnel at a very high level that you could start implementing into your business today. So you're getting that traffic, right? Whether it's coming from Google, however it's coming to your site, they're interested. They hit your website, they click your CTA or your lead magnet, and they want to know more, right? So then that falls into your emails. Now that your emails are working and they're not going to spam, you can focus on the content. What does your nurture campaign look like? We typically run about a 5 to 7 email nurture campaign, and really education first. It's not salesy. It's not, hey, I'm great, I'm the best, look at me, I'm the best in the world. It's more about the consumer. What are the questions they have? How are you educating them and making sure that you are showing them that you are there for them and that you're, again, building that trust? And with that nurture campaign, then obviously the call to action there is to book your services, to get that consultation. And so during that initial consultation, again, you are educating those people and you're continuing to make them feel like you are the right choice for them to reach their credit and ultimately the goals of what they want. And then close them, right? What does it look like once you close the deal with them and now they are in onboarding and they are in your flow? And you can't fix what you can't measure. So ultimately, everything we've talked about today all builds up to you have bills to pay, right? Like we're all in this for revenue and obviously to help the consumer, but all the effort that you're putting into making your sites great and your profiles great, you need to prove the ROI on that. So this is kind of some baselines that we've put together, and it's basically where you can see in that funnel of what's breaking. So once you've done all the work of building your foundation, you can then move into the next stage, which is really then, throwing gasoline on the fire, making sure that all the social that you're doing is working, all the ads that you're doing is working. And so you can use this to move that needle. So typically what we do is we say an average of about 20% of traffic to your site should then convert. If it's less than that, you know that something isn't working and that that's where something needs to get fixed, right? The next one that we go into is your booking rate. And we want to benchmark around 50%. And those are the leads that enter your sequence, right? How many of those people are booking? Below 30 typically means maybe that your email nurture isn't working and you need to adjust the content or go back and again make sure that your emails are not going to spam. You want to make sure that you're fixing this part of your funnel before you continue to do ads or spend any money really on additional marketing efforts. Next would be your show rate. We've benchmarked around 70%. Of those people that booked, how many again are showing up? And if it's under 60 or really under 50, the confirmation sequence could be broken, right? Like, are you sending the reminders? Are you giving them the calendar invites with enough details so that they know what they're showing up for? You really want to make sure that you are getting them to show up to that consultation. Next is going to be the close rate. We benchmark around 40%. Under 25% means your consultation structure needs work, right? What did that sales call look like? Were you educating? Were you answering all their questions and doing it in a way where they felt safe and like they wanted to move forward with you? Lastly, or excuse me, not lastly, next would be the cost per acquisition. We suggest around 200, but really that's going to be on your business and how you guys manage. But typically, if you're like $100 or more above that, you need to look at your ad spend and your channel mix. What are you doing and where are you spending money on it and why is it not converting? And then lastly is your LTV. So I know that Rick on our team has talked about LTV in a previous webinar. And if you haven't, checked it out, I definitely recommend going back and, taking a visit at that. But you really want to understand what is the LTV of your customer and how does that compare to the work and the money that you've put into getting this person. And again, this is our baseline. You guys need to do the work yourself and understand what works for your company. Maybe, lead conversion of a 10% is more reasonable. Maybe, a cost per acquisition of 400 is more reasonable. That is going to be on you as your own, business owner to decide. But I highly recommend setting these precedents for yourself and making sure that you understand what your baselines are so that you know where you can grow and where you can grow fast. And on the flip side, to see what's broken and see, where you're leaking essentially, so that you're not wasting time and effort on something that isn't working. And then I think that is wrapping up. Oh, I lied to you guys. Wouldn't be a marketing webinar without AI, right? So I know that a lot of you guys are going to be small businesses and you maybe don't have the budget to go out and get a marketing agency or hire an in-house marketing department. And luckily with AI at our fingertips now, you don't have to. And I just want to make it clear that AI shouldn't be used to replace you, but it should be used to elevate you and help you be more efficient. So as you're going through this and you are building out, your email journeys, or you're looking at content to put on your Google profile, that is a great way to use AI. You can use it for, video repurposing. Maybe you took a video of something and it was a great call, or, you can cut that out in multiple different ways and put it on social. Maybe you are concerned that some of your content is not compliant. You can go ahead and feed it into AI and making sure that it's flagging any inappropriate or non-compliant language. There's a lot of different ways that you can use AI that doesn't replace you. I know that there is definitely kind of a shift right now where a lot of people are very excited about AI and they want to use it and, have it do everything. But I do want to make a call out that there's also the flip side of it, where there is a growing concern with consumers that everything is AI and they're losing that tangible trust. And I would highly note that for you, like as a business owner, again, in this financial space, that yes, you can say that you leverage AI and that you're using AI, but make sure that you don't get lost in the AI. You want to make sure that you continue to be real in who you are, and they know that at the end of the day, it's you helping coach them from your experience, and it's not just some vague general AI prompt, or so again, definitely go ahead and use AI. I think it's great for marketing and it really helps with efficiency, but don't let it lose who you are, because you are going to be the heart and soul of your company. So with that is our presentation today. We have time now for some questions. Let's go ahead. We got some from, let's see here. We got some, you can go ahead and keep adding them in the chat. Okay, question. Is your Google profile the same as the Google Voice profile that they say is connected to Surrey? That is a great question. I don't believe that it is. I think that you both are great, but the Google profile, I would focus it more to be much more, again, with all the photos and things, so it's much more visible, so it can get, searched on not just regular Google, but it can get found in images, it can get found, in maps and different things like that. Another one here. I have also created a magazine with help of AI where I have my CTA. I think that is great. So the more that you can leverage all the different tools that Google, or really any digital platform that you can leverage, is going to be really helpful. I'd be really curious to see what that looks like. Elena, if you could share that link, we'd be really interested to take a look at it, and not on this call, but really, really interested in what that would look like. I think that is all of the questions. Evelyn, am I missing any others? I think that's it for today. If you guys do have questions, or questions about the presentation today, go ahead and join our Facebook community. It's Credit Business Growth Community by IDIQ. I'm in there. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have and jump in and get with the weeds. If you guys have some, you want me to check out your profile or your website, please tag me in our Facebook group, and I'm happy to connect. But with that, appreciate you guys' time. I'll go ahead and bring Tiffany and back up to the stage to close us out. Let me get her. Evelyn, can you help me add Tiffany right back?
Let me know when I'm back. Am I back?
Almost, girl. Let me just give you, let me see. Mm, mm,
mm.
Sorry, guys, slight technical difficulties. And there you are.
Oh, good. They're letting me back. Yay. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and insights with us today. For those of you that got to go to CreditCon this year, it was amazing. Sarah actually took the stage from CreditCon and did this presentation. And boy, you want to talk about feeling like paparazzi? Everybody was jumping on that stage asking questions afterwards. So great content as always. Thank you to everyone who joined us. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to invest in your business and also, of course, your professional growth. We hope today's session provided some practical takeaways. We love that. Obviously, fresh ideas, strategies, all the things that you can start putting into place and in action. As a reminder, you guys, today's recording will be emailed, as I mentioned before, to all that registered, even if you weren't able to attend, and those that did attend by the end of the day. So you can have that. Keep an eye out for your inbox. Sometimes I'll get email responses saying, hey, I never got the video recording, but they're actually responding to the email that had the video in it. So
Classic.
the email. If you have any additional questions after the session, do not hesitate to reach out. We're here for you guys. Your growth is our success. We love that for you and us. We also encourage you to join us every single month, the third Thursday of the month. As always, we meet at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Next month, you guys, we're going to be hosting one of our amazing brand ambassadors, Jose Rodriguez, the owner, operator of Got Credit. He's going to share a ton of stuff, but just quickly about how to get your first 10, 100, even 1,000 clients, which, as we all know, is amazing. Everyone wants to know how to do that, as well as how to put yourself out there to truly build a reputation as a credit expert. So more exciting topics coming. On behalf of everyone here at IDIQ, thank you again for being a valued partner. We do not take any of you for granted. We appreciate your continued trust and partnership, and we look forward to seeing you again next month. Have a wonderful day, everybody.